everybody, and welcome back to the channel. And if you're new, welcome. I'm Jane, my husband Mike's behind the camera. We're early retirees, debt and mortgage free, and living a thrifty, frugal and money saving life here in Brittany in northwest France on a super tight budget. And every Sunday we have a sit down with you, or we share with you some aspect of our private life. Some of the ways that we live, some of the ways that we save money. And this week is all about frugal contentment, how we arrived where we are and how we enjoy how we live. Now, to get to the point of frugal contentment, you've got to live a frugal life. And when I share all of these things with you, I know so many of you watching will be thinking like, well, how on earth can you be content with that? Let's run through all those things that mean something to people who live our frugal life. So let's have a look at those things. Well, first of all, we're living on a budget, aren't we? We're writing that unique budget every month and we stick to it all the time. We don't go off budget, we don't go off plan, we don't splurge. We don't lose the plot, we stick to it. Day after day, week after week, month after month. We're always planning our meals. Every single day, every single week. We're always batch cooking. We're always home cooking. Every day, every week, every month, all of the time. A few glitches here and there. 4 times last year we didn't cook at home in a whole year. We're always planning our spending. We're always saving for what we want. We're always putting the money aside every month. We make everything last. If it breaks, we fix it. We don't waste anything. In the garden, we keep every grass clipping, every leaf that falls off the tree, every bit of wood mulch, every potato peeling, and we compost everything. We don't waste anything at all. Sometimes we really are scrimping here, there and everywhere, to the points like we only put our dishwasher and washing machine on at night because electricity is cheaper than for us. And we make savings on everything, doesn't matter what we buy. If we go to the supermarket and pork is on sale, pork is on the menu, chicken's on sale, chicken is on the menu, week in, week out. And you might be listening to that going, how on earth can you ever find any contentment in your life if you're doing all of these things? You'll have to keep watching and listening for that one. So, what is frugal contentment? And don't forget all the time, there's no textbook answer. It's just my sharing with you today, our life. It's what we do on a Sunday. We share our lives with you. So what is frugal contentment? It's when you're happy with your life choices. I'm perfectly happy with my life choices. I'm sure all those people out there who are living a frugally content life are happy with theirs. They've stopped comparing themselves. We don't compare ourselves with anyone else. We don't mind what their house looks like. We don't mind if their house is bigger, smaller, a flat, a bungalow, 55-acre farm. We don't care. We don't care because we're happy with our little house and our little life here. We've reached a point financially where we've got no debt. And those people who are often frugally really content, sometimes they've reached the point where they've never had any debt. And the big part, the real big part of frugal contentment, and again, it's always from my own point of view that I'm sharing with you because it's Sunday, is the fact that the next bill, the next car service, the next time the car needs tyres or an expense comes up or the wheel falls off my wheelbarrow in the garden and I can't fix it and I have to buy a new one. All of those things, they're not a worry. They're a nuisance, they're an inconvenience, they've got to go on the calendar, we've got to schedule them, we've got to pay for them, but they've been budgeted for, they've been saved for. And it's that content feeling of it's not a worry, it's a nuisance, but it really isn't a worry. So how are we personally frugally content or content with our own frugality? The beginning of every video, and I always put it in there, just so people can sort of get the baseline assessment of who we are and what we're at, is we are debt and mortgage free. So we never have to worry about things like our credit score, or can we get a better credit card deal, or do we even need a credit card? Because we run completely on cash and just pay for everything with a debit card. Because we're mortgage free and debt free, those big things, they're not in our lives. There's no worrying about paying the rent, there's no worrying about paying the mortgage, there's no worrying about car payments, there's no worrying about any of those, because we haven't got them. And we haven't got them because we did all that frugal stuff to begin with. We'll share with you all the things that we did. So I was a teacher until I was 53 years old, and Mike was a local government officer, and we moved out to France then, and I continued working full-time. And when I say full-time, I mean 6 days a week with just Chinese New Year off and Christmas. So working pretty much 50 weeks of the year, 6 days a week, working hard at it until not this August, but August before. So really, really, really hard at it and just saving all that money. But once we sort of hit 55, we have retired. We make videos for YouTube, and it's a real passion of ours. So we can share budgeting and we can share frugal living, and we really, really enjoy it. But there's so many things that we did and the choices that we made to get to where we are now that are all to do with frugal living. And most of these are completely from 2009 onwards, because before that, we were doing the silly things of spending up to our limits. So we've always been current on bills. We have never ever missed a payment on anything at all. We have always put the essential money aside for the kids, for school uniform, for Christmas, for birthdays, for school trips, for repairs and things, but we never had any big savings. And then 2009 happened, and we went full into paying off our debts. By 2011, we were completely debt-free other than our mortgage. And then by 2013, we completely downsized, and we only had a small mortgage, and we could just plod away at that. But there are many things that we've done and we continue to do. We did previously, that we did then, and we do now. So we have always ever owned one car. And I know people say, well, that wouldn't work for us, but we have purposely chosen where we lived on the basis that there was transport. And when we lived in Cornwall in Liskeard, we could have lived without any car at all. We could both have got to work, to the supermarkets, everywhere using public transport. So we've always shopped second hand. We've always focused on needs, not wants. We've made do, we've mended. When we had our little house, we would go to the industrial estate. We would come back with free pallets. We would take them apart, cut them up to use them as kindling for our fire. We've always lived with a wood burning stove. So we've always had ways of drying our washing either on the line or on a clothes stand in front of the fire. We've always cooked most of our meals at home. We used to eat out occasionally. We'd occasionally buy a Chinese takeaway, things like that, but they were very, very occasional. Most of our entertainment is free, out walking, visiting places that were free. If we've made any decisions on buying a home, for example, we've always made them solidly based on the resale. So we've always bought the worst house in the best area or the best house in the worst area. And we've done as little to it as possible, so we didn't spend too much money on it. And we would always do things that saved us money. So double glazing, insulation in every house we've ever lived in, every house. So we've always done that so we could add value without making it too personal or spending too much money. Since 2009, we've always had no spend months. We've always had January, July and October as no spend months. And then we've added, since then, the last week of every month has always been a month where we've spent no money at all, which you add that up in weeks comes to 6 months of the year are no spend months. Now that might seem too drastic for some of you, but it's got to where we are now, where we can sit back in our frugal contentment. And other things that we did was we didn't listen to critics, we didn't listen to naysayers, we didn't listen to all the people saying, oh, I couldn't do what you do, I don't want your life, I don't like your life. We ignored them. Because you know what? There's always somebody's got an opinion on something or other. We didn't give in to lifestyle creep either after 2011. 2009 onwards when we were paying debts, 2011 when we were completely debt free, we never ever succumbed to lifestyle creep again. And we also didn't succumb to advertising. We didn't think, well, what I've got isn't good enough. Oh, I think I need to upgrade it. We didn't do that. And in all those years, we bought things secondhand that other people can buy. Dishwasher, tumble dryer, washing machine, all of those things. We always purchase those secondhand. Really easy to do in the UK as well. And what we've done with the frugal choices that we've made is we've stayed in our own lane, minded our own business, focused on where we wanted to go, what we wanted to do, how we wanted to achieve it. And throughout our journey, made the most of it, made the most of each other, made the most of our home, and enjoyed the journey, knowing the destination was what we wanted to achieve. So what does frugal contentment look like for us now? What does our life look like on a very regular basis? So we live really, really peacefully. We live in a village in Brittany in France, and there's just things we love about living around here. Just those things like walking our dogs around the woods, the forests, or the lanes, or the lakes. We love the fact that we can just walk into our village, stop and have a coffee in one of the local bars if we want to, have a chat with people, walk to the market and pick up our vegetables when we choose to, walk to the supermarket in the village if we want to. That we can spend our summer evenings sitting in the garden or walking around the lanes. We're just reminiscing the fact that we do like to walk around the lanes at the back of the house and go and see the horses, go and scratch a horse on the nose, go and chat to the horses whenever we want. Those things that I really love doing, hanging out laundry in my garden, hanging out laundry in front of my wood stove, bringing in wood for the fire in the winter, sitting in front of that fire on a winter's evening when it's freezing cold outside but lovely and warm inside. Sitting down in our own dining room, in our own home, eating home-cooked food that we've cooked at leisure, that we've shopped and bought at leisure, that we can spend time enjoying. Just that luxury of being able to go to bed when you want, get up when you want, or if it's a nice warm sunny day saying, well, we won't do any work in the garden today, we'll just take off and go to the beach, go to the coast, go to the forest, go to the waterfall, those type of things. So frugal contentment for us is just living the way we want at the moment. There's no great pace to our life, there's no great excitement to it, but I can reassure you from the journey that we took to get here that we enjoyed, and the process and where we are now really is frugal contentment. Thank you to everyone who watches. Thank you to everyone who hits that like button. Thank you to all the subscribers, old and new, and a massive big thanks to everyone who leaves a comment. And I can assure you, we read absolutely every single comment. And before we go, I have a question for you. How do you find contentment in frugal living, in frugality, and however you do it? Just leaves me to say on behalf of Mike and myself, see you soon. Bye.